that drug. So that is what the doctors will be talking in extensive. I will be having questions for them, of course, and we will be talking to them. I'll be having 5 medical doctors. Dr. Mbiti Mondi will be here. Dr. Sharon Oginda is in the building, of course. Dr. Ismail Luta will be here. You know Ismail, guys. Dr. Reno Omoro, Dr. Mashedi Collins as well will be here. And of course, the Masinde Muliro University Students Antimicrobial Stewardships chapter. They are the ones who have organized that, understanding antimicrobial resistance. And I would really appreciate, guys, if you showed up to support us. Imagine that is our first space collaboration this month. What? Naturaliza mwezi bana, space collab. Thank you so much as well from the MUST chapter for that honor of recognizing the work that Home Run with PP is doing. And of course, you guys showing up for Home Run with PP has made us a brand that people want to associate with. And of course, the level of conversations that we hold here on the show have made us noticed. So retweet that tweet yenye nimeekelea hapo hivi kwenye Jumbotron, of course, where we are telling people that tomorrow on Home Run with People we have a special edition after the trending topics from 4 p.m. to 7.
Social conversations, engaging topics on your phone anywhere. This is Home Run with Pippi.
It's a big thing. It's a big thing here for Home Run with Pippi, you know. Yeah, because right here kwenye Home Run with Pippi, we have been having what we call Wellness Thursdays. And Wellness Thursdays, we basically talk about health, mental health and all that. So for us to have actual doctors in a full speaker panel, it's just something that I like. Nimefurahia sana, but I'm going to enjoy it tomorrow, of course, with questions. Of course, we've had Dr. Mbiti Modi speak, very powerful speaker here, Ismail. So yeah, it's going to be big. So make sure you find time and tune in kama kawaida. But right now, today, kwenye Home Run with Bibi, siku hii ya leo, tunafanya kazi gani?
This is Home Run with Pippi.
Kama kawaida mnavyojua, Tuesdays tunakuanga na kitu ambayo inaitwa State of the Nation. Yeah, where we talk about State of the Nation. But you know, on Thursday, President William Ruto is supposed to be giving out his State of the Nation. Is it 21st? Yes. He'll be giving out his State of the Nation address. Of course, it is mandated by the Constitution. And of course, he's going to talk about fertilizer and bei ya unga. So he will say the price of unga will be 99 bob and below. He will also tell you the way the economy has greatly made strides. He will talk about the way he is working to partner with the churches. He will, yeah. Okay. Sawa basi sitawaambia ke nilisoma kwa notes za Hussein. Mtafikiria nilisoma notes za Hussein. They are so predictable, these guys bana. Si hata siku nyingine hata wajaribu.
Social conversations, engaging topics on your phone anywhere. This is Home Run with Pippi.
Yeah, so I'm looking here at this tweet yenye nimewekelea bwana. Nataka hata tupate hata 10 retweets kwa hiyo tweet tafadhali. Hiyo pinned tweet yenye tunasema kwamba tomorrow Wednesday 20th we will be having guests. Jamani, supporting your own. Tupige hiyo tweet retweets, at least we have more people coming on. For that, of course, it's also a very it's a very good space. Kwa wale watu wenye wanapenda kwenda chemist ovyo ovyo. You need to listen to that space. So yeah, piga retweet pale kwa hiyo tweet ukiona. Iko my pinned tweet hapo hivi kwenye Jumbotron. You cannot ignore it. If you're in the space, you can see it. Thank you so much as well. Naona kuna mtu ameamua leo tuanze mapema. Thank you so much Felix also for the tip hapo hivi kwenye tipja. Yeah. You can also support Home Run PP pale hivi juu. There's a number 0721948229 to support. Now, conversation ya leo State of the Nation iko very straightforward. Tunauliza kwamba jana tulikuwa tunaongea kuhusu Matiang'i and the prospects of who's going to be 2027 presidential candidate against William Ruto. And then now we have the one and only people are now speaking of we can't beat Ruto and all that. And I'm asking, when is the best time to start campaigning? Is it now? Is it too early? We are 42 days to 2025. 2027 in August is when we go to the poll. So that is a whole 2.5 years ahead of us. I see PK's mic is hot, so I'm gonna go to PK. But before I go to PK, let me see what is going on the comment section. The commentator is saying, Pipita, we need to have to sample how we want the next government to look like. This is what I would love to see. And by the way, we want you to be part of the government, media team, and state house. All patriots must be involved. Wow, nikapata kazi ya. But my dream is to be a presidential MC, by the way. Yeah, no, not for this liar, no. For a real president who's representing something, yeah, like a real new people led government. Dear Mr. President, I'll be there. Hiyo naweza fanya. Na mimi kwanza nitakuwa nahostisha president spaces. Unasikia you're listening to Home Run with Mr. President.
Social conversations, engaging topics on your phone anywhere. This is Home Run with Pippi.
I like the reason. This is the reason why spaces are audio. You should have seen my face, man. I was like, that didn't land. And PK, talk to us.
Yes, PP. I had talked to Arya before, but I was also listening to just to the previous, speakers, and they are just awesome people, awesome Kenyans, and they are speaking to the best of their minds, and it is just wonderful, us having this kind of conversation. But I want to point out or throw something out there to the Kenyans. It is up them to decide, but me, I just think like them and brainstorm things and maybe see things in a different way. But I just want to say this. Kenyans, you have to believe in yourself. You have to grow your own leadership, who you can put in power for yourself. Because these people who have already served in the government, they go to bed with the previous leaders who have served previously very, very quick. Why? Because of the cover up. Kenyans, you buy the idea of Matiangi, you are buying an absolute cover up of things that has happened in the country in the past. And those are the things that we want to clean up. And that's why I was calling. If Kenyans can agree, we bring up a convention that is going to look on all these corrupt leaders, the way things has been done in the past. We decide the way to take them on head on. We can corner them and jail them, and Kenya can be free for everybody. We can compensate the country by taking up the wealth they have acquired through these corrupt deals, even if we don't jail them, just to set a precedent or an example how the people should use power, you know. But I feel Kenyans are always excited to see somebody who has been there before, somebody they feel they can connect them with, but they are not conscious about the things that has happened to the country that are bringing them to the knees now. They say they are suffering. This is this, this is the way of thinking I want to bring up to people. I mean, young people, come on. If a brand new leadership that is going to agree with the public that we are going to overlook at these ailments of corruption, bad governance, you know, and unworthy delivery of services to the Kenyans. We are going to look to them holistically and we see the reason why. How many signatures has been paid by the president for deals from people outside the country that is crippling the economy? We look at things holistically in every dimension. And we want a president that will be there for 5 years, not to do any development. I mean, not to bring anything new, but to fix what has been wrong in the past so that we can be able to wash ourselves to the present. But I like your passion, I admire it. Yes, Matiang'i is good. He was speaking his mind. He was the man who was putting the chest forward when he's putting up the policies. Yes, He was a good man on that in that way. But understand, once Ruto came in power, the very first person they tried to pursue was Matiang'i. You don't understand or know the deal that was put in place for this regime not to pursue Matiang'i the way they could have tried to obliterate politically, him politically. I mean, we have to open our eyes in a 360 angle. We are looking at every dimension of this country and how things can be and how they need to become. We don't just to close our eyes and dimension ourselves in one way. Oh, Matiang'i is good. He was walking in classes. He was doing yes, he was a Kenyan and was doing good. But is he contaminated? That's up to the Kenyans to prove. And I know he is. I know he is. He knows things that went wrong in the regime he was serving. I mean, my brother was the president. I was excited for him being a Kikuyu, being the president. But he brought the aspiration of Kenyans to the most part. But was there anything wrong? Was there something wrong were done? Yes, there were. Were they supposed to be done? No, absolutely not. Not to Kenyans. I don't care who tribe the president you come from. But what I know is that you bring justice and equality to Kenyans. When the life is good in the mountain, the life should be good in Eldoret. If the life is good in Kisumu, I mean, the life should be good in Mombasa. You know, Kenyans, let's not close ourselves to the way of thinking. Let us look things in a wider way, and we look things in a posterity way. The president that we are aspiring in 2027, we don't want any development. Kenya don't need any development so far. It need a correction of wrong from the past. You put a country to the trajectory of ushering to the new country that will be moved by the rule of law and the policies that make common sense. You know, I'm just bothered. I just listen. I mean, Kenyans, you good, but don't forget. Don't forget, we were told after 2 years, you guys, you are going to cry. It is happening. Oh, the guy we did not listen. Today he's an angel. He's doing good. He's behind the guy we are trying to push right now. I have heard Kenyans saying that. Well, Kenyans, are we going to fix this country in a better way using the old version? I mean, come on. Give me a break. Give me a break. You know, we can't be putting old readers on our chest. Then we tend to live in the abdomen, and anything they puke we swallow. Come on, Kenyans, get out of the way. Understand your future is contained by the decision you make today. Come on, this economy, this country is great, has got good things, hardworking people. I mean, I like the energy of the population. But when you go to the ballot and the way you think who should start, I mean, you lose the way and you lose it terribly. You lose it. This time, Kenyans, just understand you are not going to be a close minded population. You are not going to be a close minded people when you are going to the ballot. Look at the country today and in the future. We don't need any development that will be sung in the podium on top of the cars. That's not what Kenya needs right now. Kenya is sick by the past. We can get to the balls of these guys through a lawful way and squeeze them through the law, right? We get the stuff they have accumulated, the wealth they have accumulated. How do you tell me? And this question is asked by Kenyans all over on the internet here in Pipita's show, that show us what you have invented. Show us what company you are running. Show us the background of wealth of your family for you to be a billionaire in Kenya other than serving the government. I mean, we have made government to be the only source of accumulating wealth. And Kenyans, you tend to understand and appraise that. Come on, if you can't afford a packet of unga, and you are still singing the song of people who have been there in the past in the government, or you can afford to feed yourself, but you can't afford to pay the school fees for your child, right? Either way, or you can afford to pay for your sickness in the hospitals, for your health. Understand there is a wrong thinking in you when you come to the ballot. I mean, I am not of the person that is going to buy these old people shenanigan ideas. No, I know young people have the energy. They have the power of the vote, right? They have the brilliant mind and young mind that are going to think in the modern ways, not in the past, right? And they can take up the mantle and put this country for all generation to enjoy. And tell the old guys, hey, you did wrong. We are going to do the right thing for the country. We are going to put you on a task to make sure where you acquired your wealth, we are not going to harm you, but we are going to follow the law. And we can be happy to see the tug of war with Kenyan people, with these billionaires that have acquired wealth in the government. We can do that. I mean, Pipita, I don't want to take much of the time. I want other people's to come, and I just want to yield this mind. I can talk all day long. I mean, it is good we can go together and usher the new day for this country through the young people. Believe in yourself. Continue to see good in yourself. Don't see Luther as an animal or as a monster that will crush everything. Do not buy that. That is fear. Come up and say, I'm strong, I'm a citizen. I can vote the way I want. I can choose the leader that will bring to me a bright future. And I can say no to corruption. Pipita, I just want to yield the mic.
Thank you so much for that submission, PK. I see Luca Matoke has joined us. How are you doing, Luca? Can you hear me, Luca? Ala, ni kama Luca aliingia na akaenda meeting zake. Felix, I can see you. Talk to me. Luca, you'll have to
thank
request
you.
again.
Oh, I should go or not?
Yeah, talk to us.
Oh, I wanted to ask PK something. You know, PK, I understand your point. You are speaking well. You have good ideas, but the biggest problem is like you are reasoning like an elite. Unajua, when you are nchi za nje, una reason from a different perspective. But see, tunataka sa reason like a Kenyan, the Kenyan who is deep from Turkana, pale chini, Madeira down to Kisumu in Kondele. Those people, Kenyan politics is tribal based. That is what people don't understand. People might say, oh, sijui nini, sijui Kenyan people politics is tribal based. Now, that's why you hear most of the people, why are people fighting at your mtu wetu akue pale, mtu wetu akue pale? You can see even the appointments in the government. It's not Ruto who has started the appointment of government for everybody. Uru appointed everybody in Parastatal from the head to the toe. Everybody almost were from his region. And nobody, people complained, they did nothing. And the main reason why people are happy when their people are there, you can see example of the people who are hired in KRA recently. The KRA, I don't know what this, who are trained in paramilitary recently, revenue collection officers. The data was removed last month. You found out that the people who are in the government, they selected their own people, almost 1,000 plus, 500, and the rest of people you are given 500 positions to share amongst yourself. You find that you are 50, 10, 20, even some even don't have their people in those places. And that's why you see when the people, those people who are benefiting, they will just be happy to support the government of the day because their people are benefiting. The other time you are seeing the MP, the Minister for Education, dishing out the appointment letters. How will you tell those people who have gotten those people from their community who have gotten those things that this person is bad? They will just praise him because there are people who lacked the basic employment they needed. They have gotten it at the right time. That's why even if you tell somebody, for example, maybe in Ugunja where Wandai comes from, that he has gotten the last mile connectivity which he has longed for almost 20 years, he will say Ruto is working. He will be convinced because that is something he has never seen since his life. Hmm? So this basically what needs to be done is civic education. But Kenyan politics is tribal. You cannot ignore that, and that's why I was telling you. First, if people want Matiang'i to win, Matiang'i must be on the ground and start hitting the road. Instead of staying in USA, is waiting for people to politicize him to politicize him. That is what happened with Mukisa Kitui, and I told you the same example. Mukisa Kitui was a very strong opponent, and somebody Mau said something here, which I see is which I didn't see it coming. Uhuru, the way I see Uhuru, he might join Ruto hand in 2027 to support his interest. You know that currently they have not been in good terms because some of his companies have been in sham with the government of the day. But for him to achieve those and the things he is doing in Northland City and so forth, he must support the government of the day. So I see his hands coming there. The way he came on in Embu, I see the same. He will support Ruto in 2027, and that might also change the demographic of voting pattern. So if they are supporting Matiang'i, he should be here. He should be doing something on the road, campaigning, strategizing, looking for friends. You can't look for friends for 2 years and expect to win. The same thing happened to Kamala with Trump. Kamala was given 4 months or almost 5 months to election to win. You can't win that. America is a civilized nation which people are fighting for policies. You can't come for election in 5 months and you expect to win. Cannot happen. The same thing, he should be here. It's only 2 years plus. By 2025, people will be campaigning. He should have a party. He should popularizing it. Huh? That's why even you see Morara is very popular, more than even some governors in this country, because he already has a party. He's fighting up and down. He's mobilizing youth. He's giving his agenda. That's how people start fighting. People are picking their spaces. You can see Babu when is fighting for his space here, and there. People are building alliances, but you cannot win an election without an alliance, and you cannot build an alliance 2 months or 3 months or 1 year to election and expect to beat somebody who has been in power for 12 years. Somebody who is going to constitute IEBC. That's too funny, bana. We need to talk more than what we are seeing. Tufungue macho tu tuongee ile ukweli niko kwa ground. Hiyo ndio mimi naona.
Haya, asante sana kwa hiyo maoni Felix. Naona pale hivi bwana Luka Matoke ameshindwa kuconnect. Naelewa kwamba show pia tunafanya na watu wazee, lakini ndugu yangu kufinya request button pia ni kitu ya kukosa kujua bwana Luka. It's 6:07 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in here ndani ya Home Run with PP.
You are listening to Home Run with PP. Weekdays from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
All right, you're listening to Home Run PP, ladies and gentlemen. You can support us here on the tip jar 0721948229. And of course, we are having a very important space tomorrow. It's called Understanding Antimicrobial Resistance. Yeah, and I'll be having a panel of 5 medical doctors, and of course, I have pre-med students from Masinde Muliro University. Hey, and today I'm nice with the words. Masinde Muliro antimicrobial. Where PP? Yeah, antimicrobial will be in the house, of course, and they will be here to talk about what is antimicrobial resistance, and of course, well, come on, end hospitali, and the importance of completing the dose, and what are the effects of overdosage and underdosage, and all those things. You know, medical jargon. I have the questions, of course. I'll be dropping them for them, but make sure you retweet that tweet so you can have as many people as possible to come. Mambo ya wellness is very important. Now that Shah has shared, we need to be taking care of ourselves. So make sure you retweet that tweet. Iko hapo hivi kwenye pin so that many people can see. I can even read you the doctors that I'll be having on the panel. I have Dr. Machete Collins. I have Dr. Reno Omoro. I have Dr. Ismail Luta. I have Dr. Sharon Oginda and, of course, Dr. Mbiti Mwendi. So, yeah, make sure you tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m. Of course, Home Run Pipi will run as usual, 4 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m. So, we'll be breaking for that important space. I really want to hear. Most of these times we try to get experts, we can't get them. Today, Mungu ameniekea nyota. We have 5. So tomorrow is going to be an amazing day. Make sure you show up for that. But today, we are on State of the Nation, and we are asking the country politics. We cannot ignore the political landscape is boiling in a chemuka. The political landscape in a boil, and that is the truth. Question here is it too early for the politics? Because yesterday we were talking about the possibility of Fred Matiang'i also becoming a presidential candidate, and the people are there who are saying no, there are people who are saying yes. Of course, social conversations, people went home at the end of it all. But today we are back here again. I see Malia Davis is here with us, but Mau dropped before he finished his point. So I'm going to hear from Mau, give him like 2 minutes, then I'll go to Malia Davis, of course. So Mau.
Yes, Pipita, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, loud and clear. Good. Yeah, I was making my submission and uh, uh, unfortunately I dropped. There are people when we were approaching 2022 general election who are for the opinion that Ruto can't become president because historically we have never had a vice president vying for the first time and becoming president. All manner of philosophies that, you know, you saw what happened to Uhuru Kenyatta in 202. He attempted and failed. Kibaki had tried severally. The reason why Uhuru became president in 2013 was because he had failed earlier in 202. But to the contrary, Ruto defeated all those myths and narratives that were being adduced by those that were against him then, because they were only doing that out of sheer hate, and because they didn't want him, there. And now uh, we have a situation where people are now bringing some other narrative that Ruto cannot be ousted. We have never seen a president in Kenya who can be ousted without completing his or her term. All these narratives that we are bringing across are good because these are our opinion, these are your opinion. But remember, records are made to be broken. And there is no way you can tell us that Ruto cannot be ousted out of the position without being there, without attempting, telling us that Ruto is putting up some, a strong team. Yes, he is doing that out of fear. And we are yet to know whether the team that he is bringing up or putting up will hold to the end. We are yet to know whether Raila will continue with him until the full end. So it is for us who are against him supposed to prepare ourselves. Whoever we talked about, has been there and has been in the former government and might have been contaminated. Remember, Matiangi was not free to make his own decision because he was not he was not the president. He was actually working through the directives of the president. So probably if given an opportunity, he can do better when he is at the top of the policy making seat. I was also mentioning or talking about Uhuru. Uhuru to me completely was not for Ruto. I mean, was not for Raila because of the policies that he was adducing. He was supporting. Those were actually buffing. Those were actually policies that were forcing us to hate him and hate anybody that he was fronting. So to hear people saying that he has become an overnight, or he told Kenyans that you will cry, that after 2 years we are going to cry. Those were just but statement of escapism. And I believe he is now happy, and he is happy that one of his who is protecting his interest talk about the Northland city is up and running. Talk about the interest. Talk about the interest in what? In SGR. We were told that they are going to make open that contract. Talk about the express highway. All these contracts are still a mirage to Kenyans. And they are so because the person who is there was positioned there particularly to cover up the interest of this gentleman. Remember, the person that is still behind Ruto, and he comes from the family of Kenyatta, is Kongo Muigai. Kongo Muigai is a cousin, and he is the one that propelled the agenda of that family politically. So let me tell you, and he is the link between wazee wale wanaitwa kiama kiama. So when I listen to people coming up with so good narrative of how the former president was against the current, I wonder. You can web very clearly. You can be able to network and connect and see that this guy was not for, is not for Raila or any opposer of Ruto. And that is, I believe, the reason why you can see that Raila is hot and cold is because he learned from the previous era that he was duped, and therefore he cannot manage to put his eggs, all of his eggs this time round in one basket, like he did last election when he was expecting that the deep state and the system is gonna work for him, and that was not the case because the deep state was working for the opponent, for the opponent. Actually, Uhuru himself was campaigning during the night for who? For Ruto. So it's a wait and see for me. I know that when we read too much on something, probably they say that overanalysis create paralysis. So I might be analyzing too much, but from my analysis then, if you go through my Facebook, I did it in 2012, and I said that, no, in 2021, that going with what Uhuru is doing, and what is saying does not end up, and probably these a plan to dupe Raila and his team and campaign for Ruto. This time round, we must be very vigilant. We must not buy to this nonsense of people telling us that this guy needs to come early, or this guy has been in the government and he can't make it. That is somebody who is working together or working for the government. Any person that is showing that he can be able to fight and do good, and
One minute, Norma.
if that person has had a good track record, like what we saw with our Fred Matiangi, before we talked about being contaminated, and those who are saying he was contaminated because of the lad saga, they are the one now who are in the government and they have done nothing to him. They were supposed to arrest and restore some of the looted money that they were talking about, that Matiangi, when you're in the government and you still keep on winning, like some of us who are outside the government, it doesn't add up, Pipita. So I would like to, for now, land at that particular point by saying this, that we will support Matiangi if he is the only one that is fighting with Ruto. Mount Kenya will present a candidate. It is not out of their will. It is a candidate that will be presented by the current regime to split the vote, because the current regime has already realized that Mount Kenya is drifting away from the support that he received in the last general election. And therefore, automatically, we know that he has that plan of studying or supporting a candidate from Mount Kenya, especially Central Kenya, and this one in particular, Muranga. We expect either Mwangi wa Iria to split that vote in Mount Kenya, so that he can get it easy. But this one is going to be, again, it will depend with where will be Raila studying. If Raila is going to be on the ballot, then again, it is going to spur the matrix. I know there will be some complication here and there in terms of who to position in Mount Kenya. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that, Mau Mau. I want to cut you off because I see we have new speakers as well on the line. Malia Davis is here with us. Malia, jambo.
Jambo bana, pipi, habari za
Nimeshinda
kushinda.
vyema, nashukuru.
Asante. So, there's nothing early about politics. Siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya, as we have seen practically within a span of 2 years. Somebody who was campaigning for a good 10 years has brought us to a law which we have hardly seen in this country. Kenyans are in despair. Kenyans are dying. Kenyans are not going to school. Bright students are not being able to go to university because of poor governance. And that is a mistake which we never learned from the era of Moi, that there's a caliber of people who are supposed to enter international leadership. You can't just take a politician because he's a politician and put him to run a country. If you want to see the difference, you can see during Moi's time, the kind of people he would put to head. They were not competent people, because if you yourself, you are incompetent and you are insecure, as such you are insecure, you will not want to put competent people to work for you, because they will expose your incompetence. They will not take your orders, because you see, leadership, national leadership is not just something for, popularity contest or ability contests. It's about competence. And Uhuru understood that, because Uhuru probably has grown up in some business empires to understand how do things work, not just a matter of somebody coming out of campus and then you become a wheeler dealer, you become a wash, and then from there you continue with that type of politicking until you find yourself through hook and crook in the highest office in the land. We have learned a very big lesson. We don't want amateurs. We want people who, and I said yesterday about people being idealistic. I am very, very, very realistic, because idealism is what has dropped us in this problem we are in. That somebody comes and there's no history of any performance anywhere. In fact, the history is smelling like there's no tomorrow, and because they are coming to promise you heaven and earth, you just give them your vote because of empty rhetoric. So If you're expecting an angel from heaven, can you please forget? Even that Murara, people have already started unearthing. So they have started unearthing things which are not very savory about him. Like, for example, that he has been cited in clubs. But anyway, my point is this: let us not miss the trees for the forest for the trees. That we are nitpicking here, that Matiang'i did this, Matiang'i did the other. We said here yesterday very clearly, when you are a CS or a chief cabinet, whatever it is, you are under orders. So you cannot take culpability for everything that happens, because you are acting under instructions. You are told to do this, you do. So that one, we cannot blame him 100% of what happened, unless if he was the one who was the president. If he was the president, we blame him because the buck stops with him. But as I told you, in some of these dockets like security, sometimes, or even other cabinet posts, you find that the CS is not even the one who's being given the orders. He could have been, he's the one who is there as the head, but Kibishu is getting orders directly from Uhuru. That's very possible. It happens very much. Those who have worked in government know that. You can be a CS and the president is working with the PS. We unakuwa tu ceremonial. So we have to come out of that mindset that, oh, he grabbed Ruaraka. I don't know. No. If you're looking for an angel, my friend, you better die and go to heaven. Here we are on earth, and Kenya for that matter. So there's no angel who we are waiting for to come and take over this seat. But the thing is that Dr. Matiang'i has proved over and over his competence, and that he's able to deal with cartels. He's able to deal with the very big problem we are having in this country of lots and lots and lots of cartels and deeply entrenched corruption, which is affecting the whole country, which is affecting every sector in this country. So our problem is, and in fact, I don't want to hear somebody here coming to tell us about Mount Kenya, that Guru is going to support a Mount Kenya, or Ruto is going to put a Mount Kenya candidate. We are tired of Mount Kenya and Kalenjins. We need somebody else. This country does not belong to Kalenjins and Kikuyus. Okay? So we don't want, in fact, this is the break that we need from this tyranny of nonsense. I am from Mount Kenya, and I'm saying I will not put my vote again for another leader from Mount Kenya. We have had enough. We need now other Kenyans to also lead. And we need competent people and people who've proven themselves. And Dr. Matiang'i has proven himself on several dockets. He has proved. You tell him to get this done, he gets it done. And that is what we need. That is the problem that we're having as Kenyans. Okay? So coming to tell us here that people will support Ruto because he gave their kin jobs in KRA, or this other one brought last mile to the village, that is not what we need right now. We don't need tokenism. We need systems to work. We need an HIF to work. We don't need last mile for one person or two people. We don't need KRA jobs for 50 people from my community. I want that my children can be able to have a job, can be able to have a business without and run a business in a fair market, a level playing field. Okay? Whereby they can be able to earn their living. They don't need to know anybody. So long as they have a product which has demand, bas. You don't need to know anybody. Those are the kind of things why I'm proposing this Dr. Matiang'i, because Dr. Matiang'i is somebody who understands these things. We are tired of this trial and error with some people who have never done anything substantial. They have never even managed a ministry, and for it to bring tangible results, nothing but scandals. If you look at the dockets which were held by this guy, when he was the DP, he was just busy campaigning the entire time. So what did you expect was going to happen? So from now on, hiyo mambo ya people who have not performed, who are non-performers, whether he's from their tribe, whether he's from Mount Kenya, whether he's from my family, we are not, because it's spoiling the whole country. And we have seen now what happens when we give over the nation to tokenism. That let 50 people from my tribe, let this guy come and run the country, so long as 50 people from my tribe will get job in KRA. What about the hundreds and thousands of people who now cannot be able to access medical care? The university students who are brilliant, but they cannot be able to have university because you put somebody there who does not know anything about running a nation. And I don't know why this is so hard for people to understand. I think that after what we went through with Moi for 24 years, seeing an incompetent person ruining the country to dust, we should have learned. But because we had this 20-year period up katikati, we forgot what it's like. And then we gave it to another incompetent person. So we are moving out of that. And we are moving out of this nonsense of tribe. That we cannot do what without tribe. Right now, if you go to Rift Valley, people are still dying. They are going to the. Is there any Kalenjin who has gone to a hospital and been told that because you are a Kalenjin now, chief is going to work for you? They are dying. They are dying the same way that anybody else from wherever is dying. So Kenyans, it's slowly sinking in their heads that we need systems. We don't need personalities. I don't need my brother to be in the government. I don't need all that stuff. What I need is systems to work. And the person who has proven that he can make systems to work is Dr. Matiang'i. Forget about what he did. Because if you're waiting for, I've told you here, if you're waiting for a Messiah, a savior who is pure, mweusi kama pamba ama ni mweupe kama pamba, the way Baba says mimi ni mweupe kama pamba, my friend, you are dreaming. So me, I'm supporting this guy, and it's never too early. The only thing which I would like to urge Dr. Matiang'i to look out for his personal security, because he is dealing with an opponent who has cleared all the witnesses who are going to witness against him in The Hague. So we are dealing with a mercenary, with somebody who deals with elimination. Elimination of opponents. So he needs to have a very good security team. I hope he's going to get somebody like Mossad, like what Baba has or something, a serious security team even when he comes here, because this guy can do anything, can poison him, can do anything, you can kill him. So let's look at those factors, and it's not too early because we're already tired. We feel like we have been having this guy for 10 years. So the time is now. In fact, he's giving us a ray of hope, because we are feeling so overwhelmed by the amount of taxation that we are going through, by the fact that nothing in the country is going on. So we need a ray of hope that this guy can come in, and the way he made the departments, the ministries he was in to work, he can make the whole country work. Because all what he needs to do is just to get people who are extremely competent, the same way Uhuru did. Uhuru was not appointing his friends or his politicians. He got people who are competent, and they came and they delivered. So even him, he just now needs to come and put, even if they're outside the country, get them, let them come and do the real work of streamlining, because what we need right now is systems to work. Thank you.
Yani mnaweza sema Uhuru alikuwa na watu competent, ndugu yangu, na vile ametuweka kwa deni ya 8 trillion one man army. Hey. Sawa, nimepumua. Asante sana. I see the one and only Western Shilaho is here, and because I know Western is wale watu wa kutupatia a very long submission, allow me, Western, to jump you by one person. George does not come to the mic unless he has something serious to say. So George, ni nini imekuleta kwenye kipaza sauti? Are you there, George? Unmute mic.
Yes, I'm there, PP. How are you?
I am well. Karibu sana.
Asante. It's been a while.
Yes, ndo nakwambia tu mimi nakuona hapo hivi kwenye listeners. I'm like, okay, sawa. But uko sawa?
Okay. Yeah, niko sawa. Maybe if you're okay, I can proceed to give my submission.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Talk to us.
Okay. Thank you. So let's respond to the topic today, which is it too early for 2027 politics? For me, I feel like it's still too early. And my first reasoning would be, I think as citizens, first of all, we had things that we expected from the current government. And in a way, I can say that we haven't received even 50% of what these people promised. And what we should be doing now, for me, I feel, is we should be putting the government into account, maybe asking them or even finding ways to demand for the things they promised us, because we wanted service delivery. Tukianza kusema sahi, the government is 2 years into governance, and tukianza to think of the next bunch of leaders sahi, that's like saying we've lost all hope, unaona. And the question will be, what if the next bunch ama the next batch of leaders will just be the same as the ones we have now, unaona, or even worse? Would it mean that we'll also give out and say, sasa tunaangalia 2032? I think it's wrong to focus on that. I think the thing that we should be doing mostly right now as citizens is, how can we get this government to work for us? How can each and everybody do their role or check the government in the positions that they are in? And I'm happy about the church. The church is now starting to check the government in the right way, which is supposed to be done. And now the question for each and every citizen and every organ in the country is, in our position as a body, as an institution, anything, even as a citizen, what can you do to check the government now so that they can deliver for us? Because if you don't check them, they'll just do whatever they want. Then secondly, maybe just to contribute on something that the person who spoke before me said, we are now bringing up names for the people who will lead us in 2027, one of them being Morara, the other one being Matiangi. And I'm just like, we should not limit ourselves to these people, because once we limit ourselves to these people, even the people sitting in power right now, they start preparing with that, because they're just like, the citizens are now talking about this. How can we either counter these people or be better than these people? And I think for me, rather than focusing on the leaders, let us focus on the electorate. As a Kenyan citizen, I'm as a Kenyan voter, what can we do to change this person? Because whoever in power, um, the results are those people who went and voted, because we voted an incompetent person. I mean, we had Ruto 10 years as a deputy president. The fact that you voted in him back to power with all his incompetence, that means that there's something about the electorate that has to change. Unaona, the mtu wetu syndrome has to change. Unaona, this person, oh, is a man of God. Those things, like, we don't have to vote people based on such narratives. Ama is poor, he will understand us, Ama, oh, huyu ni mtoto wa a rich person, he will not steal from us. Those are not valid points that will help us. Na sasa civic education sasa kwa wananchi ndio itakuwa important, like to enlighten our people, tuambie now we will need someone who is integral enough, unaona. This is the kind of person who can bring nini to this person. Let us weigh him. Does he check that point? Akicheck integrity, tick, unaona. Can he deliver to us? Tick. Not vitu ati oh, this person is young. Most Gen Zs are resonating with Morara because Morara probably is a young person. And for me, I'm just like, someone being young is not a guarantee that they will lead us well. He can still serve as trash. I mean, in the parliament, we have young parliamentarians who went there and still never delivered as we expected. So I feel like maybe CC as an electorate now, we have to start thinking of what can we do to change the leadership. Ama hiyo wakati ikifika, are we really prepared for that moment? Tusifike ati tena 8 million youth hawana voting cards, they won't vote and won't make any change. Those are the things we should be changing now. Now, how are we going to vote for these people? Do we want what kind of Kenya do we want by that time? Unaona, those are the things we should be discussing now. Unaona, see ati nini ya 2027. Thank you sana, PP.
Thank you for that submission, Bwana George. Of course, it's always a pleasure to have you here. Naona Bwana Weston Shilaho is here with us. Talk to us, Weston.
Thank you, Pepita. Thank you so much. Greetings to your audience. Pepita, you're asking, is it too early for 2027 politics? Pepita, have you ever seen these people abandon campaigns and do something else? Have you ever seen them? These people campaign 24/7 from one election to the next election. In fact, after the Supreme Court has pronounced itself on the presidential petition, they start talking about the next election. But they're back on top of SUVs and addressing church functions and funerals and barazas all over. Have you ever seen them working? So the question is a moot one. These people campaign non-stop. In fact, A visitor coming to Kenya at any one given time will be mistaken to think that an election is happening tomorrow or next week. It's the only country where people just talk politics 24/7, and the media are obsessed with politics and politicians. You wake up in the morning, there's a politician in some TV studio. You go to bed, there's a politician in some TV studio. Yeah, just talking politics, and not even transformative politics, retrogressive politics. Oh, somebody said this and this in a funeral. What do you say about it? Come on. So, Pipita, it's not like there is some period as far as our politics is concerned where you see now campaigns begin here. Go to the US. You wouldn't even know that elections were held the other day. People are back to the things they do with their lives. Politicians who have been elected, you go work for the people. You implement your policies and your programs and your promises. We'll meet again 4 years down the line. Ghanaians are having elections in December. After that, they go back to business. Botswana, they had election the other day. The sitting president lost. Picked a phone, called the one who won, congratulated him. They met. The immediate president told his supporters, rally behind this government. Rally behind this government. Support this government. Those are not angels. Those are black people like us, aren't they? Cape Verde, you go there. A stable democracy. Are those angels? So our bad manners are just that, bad manners. So there are no angels anywhere, but there are people who cherish integrity, principles, honesty, the rule of law. Those are not characteristics of angels. Those are traits of human beings. So no one is looking for an angel. No one is looking for a perfect person. I mean, where are you going to get those people? But there are people of integrity in positions of power. When they get into power, they appreciate their mandate to serve, not to enrich themselves. Why are we celebrating thugs and scoundrels and skunks? Why do we do that? Out of 50 odd million people, you want to tell me there are no people of integrity? We only have scoundrels and skunks in Kenya. That's not true. That's not true. Scoundrels may be loud, may be having a lot of money, but they're not representative of our values, are they? They're not. They're loud. They impose their will on everybody else. They're not representative of the society, are they? So let's not be cynical. To figure the other thing, I've got a problem. This anti-RUTO movement is laced with bigotry. 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 Yeah, he's done awful things. He's done really reprehensible things. That's factual. But we must also appreciate that there's bigotry in this movement against William Ruto. And we have to call it out for what it is. So if we say William Ruto, I mean, is this awful person, then we ask, what happened to Pio Gama Pinto, Jem Kariuki, Tom Mboya? Were those politicians taken out under William Ruto's regime? Were they? Were they? Were they? What happened to victims of post-election violence 2007, 2008? And if you see the reports and the statistics, majority of the victims were taken out by state apparatus. What happened to those people? Were they taken out under William Ruto regime or Daniel Moi? Were they? Were they? What happened to the elections of 2007, which was stolen and we almost dissolved into civil war? Did that happen under William Ruto? Did that happen under William Ruto? Did it? And what happened to the election of 2017, which was annulled, which means there were irregularities, and irregularities is just a euphemism for elections were stolen. Yeah, who was in charge at that time? Who was in charge? Okay, we can say William Ruto stole because he was the deputy, but who was in charge? Let's be honest. Who was it? So this revisionism is not going to take us anywhere. For us to think that Kenya was working from 63 until 2022, that's when we fell into the abyss. It's not true. It's not true. It's rewriting history. We're cherry picking. That's what we're doing. It's not going to take us anywhere. We're cherry picking. The country was just as atrocious under Jomo Kenyatta as it was under Daniel Moi, as it was under Mwai Kibaki, as it was under Uhuru Kenyatta. Yeah, and we must admit, for that is what will enable us to get the country working. But this cherry picking that, oh, we've got some, individuals who worked for Kenya and there's, well, Daniel Moi came and destroyed. What did Daniel Moi destroy? What did he destroy? Who was subjecting people to oath and saying you can't vote for this person and that person? Was that Daniel Moi? And these things are written in the history books. Was that Daniel Moi? Was it? Was it? It was not. It wasn't. This polarization we see in the country, when did it start? Harmony, this ethnic disharmony, where we define one another as mortal enemies. When did it start? Do people remember the elections of 1966 called literal general election? The state was unleashed against Jaramogi and the people like Bildad Kagia. When Bildad Kagia was dismissed, how can you support somebody who is uncircumcised? Have you read history? Have you read? Have you people read history? Yeah, Bildad Kagia Kikuyu was stigmatized. How can you support Jaramogi, a Luo, not circumcised? 66. We're still having this primordial politics. Yes. Anybody who was associated with Jaramogi was completely dismissed and stigmatized, and the state was unleashed against them. Yeah, elections that were held specifically to deal with their Jaramogi and his allies to get them out of government. Was that under Daniel Moi? Was that under William Ruto? Yeah, we choose to remember. We choose to remember. Yeah, you can choose to remember. We don't. We don't. We have perpetrated atrocities against one another. Please, let's own up. And by saying we, it's not me and you, Pipita, and these people. The people who have had in power before, some of these people are hosting as heroes. They're not heroes. They're not heroes. Why did the country go up in flames in 2007 if Kibaki is this person who was a good leader who did things that we celebrated? How come? How come? How come the country almost went to the dogs and the dogs say, no, we don't want this country? How come? How come? Have you read the ICC charges against the Ocampo 6? Have you read? Have you read? Or did you follow the proceedings? They were there in the media at that time. You can go, YouTube videos are there. One of the accusations was that a Mungiki militia had a meeting at State House. Who was the president at that time? Who was the president? Yeah, that was one of the accusations by Ocampo and the ICC, wasn't it? So this notion that, William Ruto is the worst thing that ever happened to this country, oh, Daniel Moi, it's not true. It is not true. And it's not going to take us anywhere. It's not. Because we're dishonest. We are fraudulent. We don't want the hard conversations. It's easier to blame this person or that person, and that will solve our problems. It will not, because you are part of the problem. You is perpetrating this lie that all was good. From 63 to 78, the country was working. From 78 to 2002, there was chaos and barbarism. Everything went to the dogs. And then, some other rescuer, came, Messiah, from 2002, 2013, 2022. Yeah, that period was good. Really? Really? It's not true. It is not true. It is not true. So the bigotry that has, that is accompanying this anti-RUTO movement is not going to help us. That bigotry is not going to help us. It's not going to help us at all. Will not take this country anywhere. It won't. Because he will fight back. He will fight back, and he has a chance to fight back because we are not opposed to it because of corruption. So we can justify, Matiangi's corruption. Why don't we justify William Ruto's corruption? Which corruption is acceptable and which one is reprehensible? Which one? Where you steal 1 billion is acceptable. This person steals 2 billion. That one is not acceptable. Is that true? Is that true? Suddenly, no, we don't have angels. So William Ruto is not an angel. So why do we have a problem with him? Why do we have a problem with him? Why? Yeah, we have a problem with him because of the person, because of the ethnic group, not because of the corruption, not because of extrajudicial executions, not because of tribal appointments. We have a problem with him because of his ethnic group. Yeah, that is it. Otherwise, why would you sanitize Matiangi? If you are committed to good governance, the rule of law, why would you sanitize Matiangi? Why would you do that? I want a country that works for everybody. Okay, there are people who were there before. Why are we sanitizing them? Why do we do that? What did Rigathi say that time when he was throwing barbs against Uhuru Kenyatta? What did he say? He said he picked him from where? From drinking dens. Did you hear? So what is this that Uhuru Kenyatta was working and doing business? What did Rigathi say? He has said those things publicly, didn't he? He said it. Yeah. So you forget about that. You say, no, this one was working. He was running businesses. William Ruto was just a thug, wheeling and dealing. Please, 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 let us learn to be honest about what we say and about the country. Let us be honest. Let us be honest. Dishonesty will not take us anywhere. And if we are not invested in taking out this establishment, we like the status quo. Things are working because the person who is in charge is the person I admire. It's from my region. Well, that is dishonesty. That is cynicism. That's being cynical. Yeah. Certainly, it's not the establishment, it's the person. When we know clearly it's the establishment. And William Ruto is part of the establishment. Yeah, that's why he's not holding these people to account. Because he is part of the establishment. Yes. Why doesn't he hold them to account? Part of the establishment. If you go through the archives, there are videos where Uhuru Kenyatta donates money to the church. Why didn't we raise questions at that time? Why didn't we? Suddenly there's a problem donating money to the church. Even the church itself has a problem with it. When they were receiving money before, whose money is that they were receiving? Why didn't they raise questions about morality? Why? Why didn't they write letters? Why did they return the money? Yeah, Uhuru has even built a church and given it to the Catholic Church. Why didn't the Catholic Church say, no, a politician can't build as a church? Yeah, because we're selective. We're very selective in our relationship to morality, to values, to ethics, to the rule of law, to justice. We're very selective. We are very selective. And that's why we say, if people get the leaders they deserve, I think that person had Kenya in mind. You had Kenya in mind. You get the leaders you deserve. You had Kenya in mind. Others wouldn't be somersaulting like this. Gymnastics when it comes to fairly grave issues. We can even try to justify, and that the people will hear us and think that we're making sense. Which sense are we making? Which sense are we making when we're justifying a rot? And in the same sentence, we're condemning someone else for the same rot. Does that even make sense? It doesn't make sense. Matiangi, if it's true, has enlisted the services of Mossad. What is Mossad? Mossad is an intelligence organization of the Israeli government. Why would you invite Mossad in your politics? To do what? To do what in your politics? Mossad, the Israeli intelligence body. Why would you want them to support a candidate for you? What are they getting in return? What are they getting in return? You know, this, you know, we're glossing over things. What are they getting in return? So are they at the same time, you want to invoke sovereignty? You're a sovereign state. Where's your sovereignty? When a candidate has been hoisted on you by external actors, and very controversial actors for that matter. So whose interest will your president serve? Whose interest? So you're complaining about William Ruto serving external interests. You want another president who clearly he's been put there by some suspicious interests, suspicious actors. What is the point? We can't look at things logically. Is that what it means? So you say, oh, Matengi didn't have a choice. What choice? What choice? In criminal justice, for them to establish that you've committed a crime, they look at three things. Did you have free will? Did you have knowledge of what you were doing? Did you have freedom? Then they can establish you committed a crime. Matiang'i could have resigned. If the instructions he was given, he couldn't agree with them. He would have resigned. He could have resigned. He should have resigned. He did not. So how do you blame the president? How? Read the European Holocaust. Read. Those who took Hitler's instructions were tried. You could not go to court and say, no, Hitler gave me instructions. I sent these people to the gas chambers. No, you had a conscience. You knew you were doing what you were doing was wrong, morally reprehensible. Taking people and gassing them. That's wrong. They were tried, weren't they? They were tried. Individual culpability. Your mind was working correctly. You know, it's not like you are a mad person. You knew what you were doing was wrong. So why would you blame the president? Why would you blame William Ruto? When a minister carries out clearly reprehensible and illegal instructions, why would you blame the? Was he mad? Was he mad? He couldn't resign? He couldn't refuse? You see how we justify the wrongs that are happening in our government. And at the same time, we want to blame people. No, there's a lot of corruption or extrajudicial executions or tribalization of the state. But the same things we can find reason to justify when they are perpetrated by other actors. How is that normal? It's not normal, is it? It can't be normal. It's not normal. So why are we not consistent? You can find issues with William Ruto. You can find issues with Uhuru Kenyatta. You can find issues with Matiang'i, with Mwai Kibaki. Can't you? You can't, eh? So you cherry pick. You choose who is a hero and who is not a hero. You come up with your own history. Who to celebrate and who to condemn. Who did wonders?
Western.
Who did not do wonders? Is that really true? Is that really correct? It can't be. It can't. It cannot.
Western. Hey, Western.
Yes, is that Pepita?
No, it's the doctor.
Who is that?
It's the doctor.
Oh, yes, the doctor.
Western. I just wanted to say that maybe we have you limit your time a little bit because I've seen several hands here. Maybe they have something new to add on before you continue.
Oh, Pepita has not said anything, so it's important. I just say what
2
I'm
minutes,
saying.
2
because,
minutes,
I mean,
Western. And
yes.
Yeah, all right.
Give
The
me 2
doctor,
minutes.
I am the only commander in the show, Buana, the doctor.
Yes. You are
Don't
the
do
only
my work,
commander in the show.
okay? Just relax. Western akiongea
Yes.
hivyo arudi hapa tena. So let's give you 2 minutes.
Sirudi,
At the top of the
sinaenda.
hour, I'll take the mic.
Correct, Pepita. So, Pepita, what I'm saying, I've got a problem with bigotry fighting against bigotry. I've got a problem with that. I do. I've got a problem with revisionism. I do have a problem with that. I've got a problem with creating heroes where none exist. I have a problem with that. I do. And it's not going to take us anywhere. Matiang'i left us with a very crappy education system, CBC. There was militarization of exams, it's still happening now. Those things are problematic. There were some 8 boys at Ambira High School who were arrested when he was a minister. I don't know, because that insulted him. Those are problematic things. We cannot gloss over those things. We can't. Boys, these are minors. They were arrested after they had written their KCSE exams. There was a video that they had insulted him. They were arrested, taken to court. Yeah, this is a person you were saying is presidential material, eh? Okay. Cynicism. We're just as cynical as the people who are opposed to. So how are we going to work for a country how are we going to realize a country that works for all of us when we're just as cynical as the people who are in power? Thank you, Pipita.
You are listening to Home Run with Pippi. Weekdays from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
I see Dr. James is here. You know when you see Dr. James in the building. Wa Mutu semimi. When you see Dr. James in the building, of course, you'd want to hear from him at some point. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Hapa hivi ndani kwenye Home Run with Pipi. And of course, as my guy, the doctor has reminded me that we need to keep time. So I'm going to start with the doctor because he's the one who's concerned. And then I'm going to go to Engineer Alex and Papa before I go back to the guys who have already spoken. Thank you so much, Justin Shilao, for that. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Home Run with Pipi. We happen here each and every weekday from 4 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m. East African time. This show is supported by you, the listener. If you like what I'm doing, I have my M-Pesa number 0721948229 pinned on the tip jar line there where you can drop your support. Also, we have a very important conversation tomorrow with a panel of doctors with regards to antimicrobial resistance. And of course, I have a panel of 5 doctors who will be seated down with me here on Spaces from tomorrow, 7 p.m., all the way to 9 p.m.